I believe that we have been observed and monitored for a long exactitude. So I asked myself, if the ancient Egyptians were more advanced than America of the early 20th century, then there's something wrong here.
The year of reckoning. Are we ready for 2025? The year 2025 may mark a turning point in human history, referred to by some as the year of reckoning. Scientists have predicted a rare cosmic event, a planetary alignment occurring once every 26,000 years. This phenomenon, expected in January, could trigger a series of devastating natural disasters and unexplained global changes. In January, massive earthquakes may level entire cities as tectonic plates shift with unprecedented force. By March, relentless electrical storms could fill the skies, creating an unending barrage of lightning and thunder. By June, the destruction could escalate further, with some nations potentially disappearing from maps due to catastrophic floods, tsunamis, or other mysterious events. What's most disturbing is the apparent synchronization of these disasters. Every event seems perfectly timed, leading some to speculate about the involvement of a higher unknown force. Ancient civilizations left warnings about a great balancer, a mystical power said to intervene when humanity drives the world toward chaos. These messages, inscribed in ancient texts and legends, suggest that when the scales tip too far, this force restores balance, no matter the cost.
The weather's
Now,
been
humanity faces
crazy,
a pressing question.
and
Are we ready for what lies ahead? Can we endure these trials, or are we destined to become another chapter erased from Earth's history? The year 2025 could signify
I think
more
they're
than just
seeing
another
our clouds
date.
a
It might
lot.
be a wake-up call for humanity to reflect on its impact.
Let me know what you
and
guys
strive
think
for
in the
harmony
comments
with
below.
nature. Only time will reveal whether we can survive this reckoning, or if it marks the end of our story.
I just figured out what they're trying to distract us from. So in the last 24 hours, you may have heard the story come out about there being some really weird craft in the water in Florida shooting out all these ridiculous lights. And the people have been seeing these ridiculous lights come up out the water in Florida. And now, of course, Florida's on fire, which is completely unrelated. Really quick, before we get into the juicy stuff, don't want Tic Tac Express this. If you see this on your For You page, let me know in the comments. So let me ask you if you remember this. This video is only partially related. You remember when the Dior bags were going on? And when this top secret phenomenon was going on all over the Northeast United States, people were seeing these things come from a mothership in the Gulf. Then all of a sudden, fog took over all the lands, and natural disasters started happening every day. So needless to say, we all forgot about it. And we also see this thing happen once a week. And I talked about how it was weird to go inside the side for miles and not going down. Of course, we all know it's a spaceship. And last night in my video, I was like, why are all these really big things happening out of nowhere? The mission to the files to Mr. West, then all of a sudden at the same time the pyramid story broke, at the same time the military personnel story broke about the craft being in the water, and completely unrelated, Florida's on fire now. And don't forget, this right here happened 2 years in a row in Florida. Pay attention to your sights because this is all unrelated. How easily distracted we are. Needless to say, we're all going to see some very weird things soon. All satire, entertainment, and random.
There's so many of them. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me down for you.
My heart coming out my chest.
Why do bats look like dogs now? I've shifted timelines. This is a bat. Bats we fear in my timeline. New timeline, it is a cute looking dog. Someone explain this to me, people.
Look at her hands.
There is such a thing as an ancient conspiracy theory, it's this.
Former fraud investigator
Oh, boy.
Jimmy Corsetti, and now ancient site researcher.
You have the site of Göbekli Tepe, made up of sophisticated pillars, almost 7,000 years older than Stonehenge. We're talking about arguably the most mysterious ancient site because it's not supposed to exist. Earlier this summer, I'm like, let me revisit Göbekli Tepe and see what's new there. And I couldn't believe this. There's a gentleman who's an author and also leads tours, and he communicated with me that they're going to defer a full-scale excavation for, quote, future generations.
What?
And I'm like, wait a second. Are you serious? And so I started digging into this, and I couldn't believe what I found.
What would be an alternative explanation?
So, okay.
Well, I got an inner story.
Let's go.
The Green Children of Woolpit. This story's crazy. This happened in England in the 12th century. There's this small town. There's these villagers out doing their farm and stuff. And all of a sudden, these two small children walk up to them with green skin, clothes that they have never recognized before, and speaking in a language they've never heard before. Clearly looked malnourished, like they're very skinny. So there was an older sister and a younger brother. Unfortunately, the younger brother, he ended up dying. And the little girl, they were able to eventually get her to start learning English. Then she was able to recount where she came from.
Oh my gosh.
She said was this place where it was green everywhere. The plants and the sky, even the people themselves. It was as if the world existed under a green tinted veil, casting a surreal glow over everything. They said the sky was never fully dark nor brightly lit. Instead, their world was bathed in an eternal twilight. The children recalled a day when they were tending their family's livestock near the edge of their world. They heard a loud mechanical noise unlike anything they had experienced before. Drawn by curiosity, they followed the sound to a cave where a strange light pulsed from within. The light seemed to bend reality, causing the air to shimmer and distort. As they moved closer, the light became blinding. Suddenly, they felt the sensation of falling, followed by cool air and bright sunlight, the stark contrast to the world of shadows.
How crazy.
And
Very crazy.
that's like pretty much the end of the story.
I want to go to the center of the earth so bad,
too.
man.
You have never seen
Me
it
too.
under this much detail.
Okay.
Tapeworms are parasitic worms that
Oh.
live inside the host's intestines,
No.
feeding off of their nutrients.
No.
Bears particularly, because they often get infected by eating
No.
raw meat or fish that carry tapeworm
No.
larvae. Once
No.
inside, the larvae grow
Wait
into
for
adult
it.
tapeworms.
Wait for it.
Looks like
These
a
parasites
parachute.
can infect most mammals, including humans.
Oh no. Andrew.
This is a photo of a tapeworm taken under a microscope. Nikon did a contest and this won 4th place. This is the face of a tapeworm.
Gosh.
That can't be real.
That is real. That actually won.
That's a demon.
Bro! That's not okay! That's a real face?
Yep.
That was good.
I hated every part of that.
Should I give some raw food?
You know the
Don't say
warning
sushi.
on sushi when it's like,
it comes to raw food? Is that what you're telling me? Not cooked?
okay.
All right. No more sushi for me. Well, here goes sushi. There goes my Friday plans.
I hated that.
Andrew, gross.
Could humanity's fate in 2025 already be written in stone? Baba Vanga, the blind mystic renowned for her eerily accurate predictions, has left us with 3 bone-chilling prophecies for the coming year, and the final one will leave you speechless. First comes the prophecy of a major superpower undergoing a seismic shift that will send shockwaves across the globe. Will it be political chaos, economic collapse, or something even more terrifying? Theories are spreading like wildfire. Next, she foretold a groundbreaking scientific discovery, an innovation that could fundamentally transform human existence. Many believe it points to a quantum leap in artificial intelligence. Others are convinced it relates to breakthroughs in renewable energy or space exploration. But what's the truth? And finally, the most haunting prophecy of all, an environmental catastrophe with the power to reshape Earth's geography. Rising seas, unstoppable infernos. These possibilities have ignited fierce debates. Remember these words and wait for that moment to arrive.
Uh-oh.
In 2025, Earth experiences a year that changes everything. A series of events so strange and unprecedented that no one is prepared. It starts quietly in January. News outlets report minor earthquakes in regions where they've never occurred. By February, skies above Springfield and across the globe begin to glow faintly green at night. At first, it's dismissed as an unusual display of the northern lights, but the glow extends far beyond the poles, sparking curiosity and unease. Marge notices something peculiar in her garden. Her vegetables are growing at twice their normal size, yet their taste is strangely metallic. Reports flood in from around the world. Crops are ripening unnaturally fast, animals are behaving erratically, and cities are facing sudden, violent storms. The oceans swell with unpredictable tides, flooding coastal areas. By March, scientists deliver a startling explanation. Earth's magnetic field is shifting at an unprecedented rate. What should have taken a millennium is now happening in months. Professor Frink gathers the town and explains the gravity of the situation. This magnetic anomaly isn't just affecting compasses, it's disrupting satellites, power grids, and even migratory patterns of birds and fish. The very fabric of modern life, navigation, communication, and technology is under threat. As the months pass, the magnetic chaos accelerates. By October, planes are grounded due to navigation failures, and internet disruptions become commonplace. Springfield and the rest of the world are on edge. People panic buy supplies, fearing the worst. In December, the skies transform into a breathtaking yet ominous display. Daytime auroras bathe the world in vivid, shimmering lights. But this beauty comes at a cost. Electronics everywhere shut down. Phones, computers, cars, and even basic appliances go dark. The modern world grinds to a halt, throwing humanity back into a pre-digital age. So what do you think? If Earth faced a year like this, would it be an opportunity to reset and rebuild, or would it push humanity to the brink? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
There's whispers saying that all these guys want to take your off.
Whoa, what? As she was pulled into the frenzy, the camera recorded her shout.
I thought I was gonna die. They were trying to chunks of my scalp. I remember looking up and seeing them taking pictures with their cell phones.
I see some crazy thing about a news reporter in Egypt.
Yeah.
Everything was going good when she was on camera, but as soon as the lights went off, plot twist, fam. Her name is Laura Logan. Her whole career did like news reports on like the battlefield and stuff like that. Very dangerous. Any other news reporter would have probably lost their life, right?
Yeah.
But one day she was in Egypt. I think there was a celebration going on because the president just resigned, right? So everyone in the back, male-dominated crowd, and there's a pretty blonde woman doing the news. Everybody's celebrating, being polite with her. All you see is the lights go off, and the tour guide that was with her, yo, Laura, we have to go right away. There's whispers saying that all these guys want to take your off. Whoa. Cameras went off. Since it's like 2 versus 100, fam, Laura gets pulled into the middle of that crowd, and there's theories that people didn't realize this might as well be a Illuminati sacrifice on live television.
I need your soul.
First thing we see, Cody Rhodes goes to talk to Cena, and it's supposed to be like Cena's last fight. All of a sudden, The Rock comes out. With who? Travis Scott. I don't know Travis Scott. It goes Fiend, and I'm like, why is he coming out with The Rock? The whole play they were doing on it, The Rock wanted Cody Rhodes to pretty much join him. Yeah. But the way he said it was, I want your soul. Like, what the?
You will come to me. I want your mind. I want your soul. I need your soul.
And the moment he said that, we looked at the, oh nah. Cody Rhodes pretty much says like, nah. Yeah. You. Don't be right? Like, that's not selling it.
Hey, Rock, go yourself.
And what happens? John Cena decides to turn heel, betray Cody Rhodes. The Rock pulls out a belt that says Cody Rhodes' soul, and it just starts his back, belt to ass, bro. And then Travis Scott's just out there, just like this, just like this. As this whole thing is going down, in the Jumbotron, on screen, there's a legit triangle with blood, looking like a Illuminati symbol. Is that a subliminal? And this is what's crazy too. A lot of people don't know this about The Rock.
What if I told you that 2 of history's most famous mystics, Baba Vanga and Nostradamus, predicted the same terrifying event for 2025? Nostradamus warned of cruel wars in Europe and the return of an ancient plague. Some believe this could mean an escalation of conflicts already happening, or worse, the outbreak of a new, devastating disease. Baba Vanga went even further. She predicted that a war from the east would spread into the west, leaving entire areas uninhabitable. She also spoke of massive earthquakes and floods, wiping out entire cities. It sounds like something out of a movie.
Yes, it
But
does.
with global tensions rising, extreme weather increasing, and pandemics still fresh in our minds, it's hard not to wonder, were they warning us?
Maybe.
Or is this all just coincidence? People have been skeptical of prophecies for centuries. But every time one comes true, we can't help but question. Is 2025 the year everything changes? What do you think? Wild coincidence or something bigger?
I think so.
Could these prophecies actually come true?
Let me know in the comments.
Let me know in the comments below.
Have you ever experienced missing time? You're not alone. People worldwide report episodes where hours vanish without explanation. Some scientists suggest these could be signs of alien abductions, especially with recent findings of brainwave disturbances in those affected. Two very credible abductions are Betty and Barney Hill in 1961. This couple claimed they were taken aboard a spacecraft in New Hampshire.
It's alright.
Under hypnosis, they recalled detailed examinations and experienced missing time during their journey. Linda Napolitano in the late 80s. Linda alleged she was abducted from her Manhattan apartment, with multiple witnesses reporting the event. She described being examined by extraterrestrials and couldn't count for several hours. Now for the newest scientific findings. Researchers have detected unusual brainwave patterns in individuals reporting these experiences, suggesting altered states of consciousness during the alleged abductions. Is it extraterrestrial encounters or something else entirely? Have you ever lost time? Share your experiences below.
This just in, Nessie might be back. A new sighting at Loch Ness has stunned the internet. But is it real? On March 5th, a visitor at Doors Beach, Scotland, captured this eerie photo of a massive dark figure emerging from the water. The witness described it as something big, moving against the current, and experts are baffled. What makes this sighting different? The conditions were perfect, the skies were clear, and the water was calm, and a witness with no history of hoaxes. Even veteran Loch Ness researchers are intrigued. For nearly a century, reports of a mysterious lake creature have captivated the world. But is this latest sighting proof of something lurking beneath the Loch Ness? Skeptics argue it could be a log, a shadow, or even a well-placed hoax, but believers say this could be the clearest evidence of Nessie in years. So what do you think? Is this finally proof that Nessie is real, or just another hoax? Drop a comment,
Who
let me know.
knows?
As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
What do y'all think?
Yo, check this out. So, a YouTuber just found the devil in Alaska. What? The footage at the end is the scariest thing I've ever seen, fam. Crazy. It's crazy. Luke Nichols, a popular YouTuber from the United States, has just encountered Satan himself in the mountains of Alaska. This is the reason nobody wants to visit Alaska, bro. This is terrifying. So Luke, known for his love for the outdoors, a veteran for outdoor extreme camping and survival, getting the nickname Luke the Nuke Nichols. He had been exploring the Alaskan mountains nearby the Noam territory. The fierce weather conditions made his trip more difficult. He was out on his snowmobile on his way to catch some fish with his son when suddenly they came across a random hole in the ground. They were terrified. They immediately turned back but heard a voice calling out. He turned around, and within the darkness of the night, he saw horns, then flames, and realized he was staring into the eyes of the devil. He took out his phone to video it. To see the video, comment, "Outdoor Boys," and we will send it via DM.
The cult of the Black Cube, better known as the Saturn Death Cult. The global elite worships the dark side of the planet Saturn and uses occult symbols in modern institutions, and it's been going on since creation.
Yeah.
Basically started with the fallen angels, and it all revolves around the god Saturn. But this god is also the god Baal, the god Molech.
Oh gosh.
And is prevalent in basically every ancient and modern satanic.
Saturn is Satan.
They think it translates from Satan. And the astrology Capricorn,
Yeah.
the primary thing in that is Saturn, which is a goat. But the black cube, I'm like, where's the black cube come into this? There's like this dark spot on the top of Saturn that is in the shape of a hexagon. And if you take the hexagon and you make it a 3-dimensional, it makes a cube. what was crazy, if you go to basically any major financial district, they all have a monument of a black cube.
No way.
They
That's
believe
crazy.
that they're able to tap into this realm or this deity to be able to enslave the masses. And so the Federal Reserve was based off of that. So it would be slave to debt. JP Morgan, very involved in the Federal Reserve, he has this quote: millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do.
I've never heard that one.
But one thing I immediately popped in my head was BlackRock.
Literally.
They are the number one
Gosh, yeah.
It's literally in plain
corporation that have the majority wealth in the world. Do you see that they froze light?
Froze light.
I could not explain it to you. Don't even ask me to try.
Who
But
did
they
that?
have this machine to where they can manipulate light itself to where they were able to freeze light.
This is crazy.
We can have this guy try to explain it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Josh Aiken official on TikTok.
So scientists have frozen light. The most impressive part is how they did it. By firing light into a special machine called a photonic semiconductor, it enabled the photons to act as a Bose-Einstein condensate, which is just a fancy term when large groups of atoms start to act as a single particle because they're chilled to near absolute zero. When they did that, the light transitioned into a super solid state, which means it was both a liquid and a solid all at the same time. It opens up the door to potentially more accurate quantum computing, better
It's
lubricants.
both liquid and solid at the same time, like a Powerade slush.
Exactly. Like a Slurpee. I could have
Slushy.
explained that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you know all those words.
Do you think they were able to look at it though?
It's
I mean, you
a
had to.
slushy.
It's light.
Can't see all light.
But they
Infrared light.
did. But they did chill it to 0.
Yeah, so it was
Almost.
actually frozen.
So we are correct.
Like a Slurpee.
Like a Slurpee.
Let's go get a Powerade slush, please.
Who is the most powerful person in America? Oh, I don't think anybody would probably know their name. Yeah, they're sort of behind the scenes. But certainly people on this committee, like Admiral Wilson.
His performance was so good, it moved them to start crying.
Baby, 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 would you really go ahead and would you go ahead and just cry? Cry, 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 cry.
It's like some Chinese drama. It's called Big World. Have you heard of it?
No.
About a guy who has like a disability going through life trying to fulfill his like grandma's dream.
Yeah.
It panned to the guy acting, right? Doing the disability stuff. And then it panned to the directors and the staff watching. They were crying, fam.
If anything, it probably hits even more on set,
On set, yeah.
than watching it on the screen.
But I was-
Because you're in the room, right?
Yeah.
Because you're in the room.
They were bawling, fam.
I gotta
It's not
watch that
even them
movie.
acting, it's just them being that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're
gotta watch
actually
it.
going through that in their head.
Yeah.
And I think the best actors are just delusional. They put themselves in the delusion that they're really in that scenario and they live it, breathe it.
When you were taking acting classes too,
Yeah.
you said you didn't like the sad roles or like the dark roles because it took a toll on your like mental.
Yeah, I didn't like that. That's why, like, Joaquin Phoenix, the actor for Joker.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was method acting. Literally every time he would hop on set, they knew to like, yo, let's just leave him alone because he's going through some shit.
He would just improvise and do crazy shit where you didn't know if he was going to even hurt himself. Remember when he punches the clock? That's not in the script.
Oh no! I forgot to punch out.
His putting himself into that mind.
Yeah.
Now, this is scary. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but there's a theory. Well, it's more like a religious theory. I saw this TikTok, and he was a preacher, right? He was saying, what if God is actually water? Look, watch this.
What if water is God?
Then that would mean God is both in us and all around us. That God is both above and below us. Why a woman's water breaks when we're born.
Crazy, right? But wait, that's not it. You know how we say God is everything, right? In this sense, like everything around us is what? It's water. There's water in the air that we can't see.
Right.
There's water inside you. There's water inside me. There's water in every single thing that lives.
Yes.
Now, when there's a lack of water, if you look at a desert, if you look at a wasteland, right, what is there usually? Death. Death because of lack of water. And it's very hot, like hell. And now check this out. In the Bible, when Jesus said he was tempted by the devil, where was he? In the desert. He was looking for water.
On January 28, 1986, the world watched as NASA's Challenger space shuttle exploded shortly after liftoff. The world mourned the loss of the 7 astronauts who were on board. However, 20 years later, investigators would discover that the 7 crew members never actually boarded the shuttle that fateful day. Now I know what you're thinking. You're ready to call bullshit on this one, but let me stop you right here. The evidence that you are about to see will absolutely blow your mind. Sure, you've probably heard a dozen media outlets calling this a cooked-up conspiracy theory, but nothing could be further from the truth. Many people remember watching the explosion happen live on television, I myself being one of them. There is no doubt in my mind that the explosion was very real. In this video, we will examine footage from various sources that not only prove that 5 of the 7 Challenger crew members are alive and well today, but will also shed light on the possible reasons why they were not on board. 3 of the 5 astronauts, Judy Resnick, Richard Scobie, and Michael J. Smith. These 3 crew members were not only found to be alive, but they were still using their original names. You may be wondering, why wouldn't they change their names? And the answer is relatively simple. Their names were not too well known, and in 1986, living under the radar was much easier prior to the internet age. Is it possible that these 3 astronauts could have living doppelgangers that just so happen to have the same names? Not likely, and here's why. Although Michael J. Smith is a common name, the names of the other 2 astronauts, Judy Resnick and Richard Scobie, are exceptionally uncommon. For example, there are only 6 women currently living in the United States with the name Judy or Judith Resnick, and there are only 16 men named Richard, Rick, Rich, or Dick Scobie. What are the chances that all 3 of these astronauts would have living doppelgangers with the same names? I'll let you ponder on these odds for a moment. The other 2 astronauts, Ronald McNair and Ellison Onizuka, both supposedly have living twin brothers named Carl McNair and Claude Onizuka. However, no birth records could be found for either one of them. What's even more interesting is this. Let's take a look at this footage from then-President Ronald Reagan's memorial service for the Challenger crew. Here we can see the parents and siblings of Ellison Onizuka. But where is his living twin brother Claude? And here we can see the family of Ronald McNair, but his living twin brother Carl is nowhere to be seen. The reason Carl and Claude were not in attendance for their deceased brother's memorial is the same reason why there are no birth records for either of them. They do not exist. An investigator tracked down Challenger pilot Michael J. Smith and conducted a field interview, which he later posted on social media.
Is Challenger pilot Michael J. Smith alive and well? Take a look at the footage and let me know what you think.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Hey there. Hey, sorry to bother you. I was pulling out and I saw you. I just came by to... Are you Michael Smith?
Yeah.
Professor at university?
Retired.
Retired?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just stopped by because there's this room. Are you aware of that? There's a rumor on the internet.
It's not me.
That people are saying.
Yeah, it's not me, obviously. I mean, anybody that looks at my background, looks where I was born, it's not me. I mean, it's interesting that the Michael J. Smith that was the astronaut looks something like me when we were younger, but really not if you really look at facial recognition.
You've never been a pilot, never been in the military?
Nothing like that.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I don't respond to the emails I get. I get probably an email, maybe 2 a month.
Really?
Yeah, and I got one guy that's been really hounding me, and I turned it over to the FBI.
Really?
You know, yeah, I mean, it's bullshit.
Okay.
You know, another crazy theory.
Okay.
But that's, not me.
All right.
I'm glad I wasn't him, but he was quite a guy.
Yeah.
But if you look at my career, you look at my CV that's online, all the stuff I've published, all that I've done, it's not even close to what that guy was.
Okay. Yeah, you just sure look a lot. It's the same name.
I know the facial thing, but that's what we looked like, 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Voice analysis of the living Judy Resnick compared to the Challenger astronaut Judy Resnick confirms that they are indeed the same person.
I am hoping that the affliction that Steve Hawley had from the 41D mission specialist of the delays hasn't rubbed off on me.
For a very long arm, which is as long as the cargo bay, it's 50 feet long.
The image lets you see all of the current contemporary issues. All courts shall be open, property remedied by due course of law. You can find these. The equal justice under law becomes that we thought courts were all along. It says equal justice under law.
That is crazy.
There are many possible reasons why the crew did not board the Challenger that day. One theory is that the Challenger's final mission was deceptively unmanned due to limited funding and to maintain NASA's position as the world leader in space exploration. Clues uncovered in a documentary produced by National Geographic on the Challenger disaster seem to support this theory.
When Space Shuttle Challenger launches on a January morning in 1986, a key engineer is sure a catastrophe is coming.
We've got to stop the flight. We cannot let Challenger launch, period. This is insane.
He thinks the ship is going to explode. After 2 decades of budget cuts and a loss of public interest, the shuttle has never made good on its promise to provide a routine bus service to space. The 25th shuttle launch will be far more than just another trip into orbit. It's designed to resurrect the entire program. NASA hope to restore faith in their billion-dollar baby.
And like Krista said, you know, Mom, she said that shuttle, they can shut that down the very last second if anything's wrong.
In the months following the disaster, Morton Thiokol paid the astronauts' families around $4.6 million, but were awarded a $1.8 billion contract to develop a new range of rocket boosters. NASA's Lawrence Malloy was offered a promotion to Deputy Director of all propulsion systems.
Now let me ask you this. If you were offered $4.7 million to pretend that your loved one was deceased, would you do it? Of course you would. I think you get the gist of what I'm saying here.
Really crazy.
The Looking for Interesting Videos department has merged with 2 new videos we'll probably show you at the end of the week that tell us a lot about a lot. One of them is video of Australia's new ambassador for gender equality. She just introduced herself to the world. She's American, by the way. She doesn't say that. She's got a fake accent. But as you watch this, just take a look at her and ask yourself, again, we're not religious authorities, but is there demonic possession playing a role in this? Watch.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Copus Campbell, Australia's new Ambassador for Gender Equality. I'm incredibly honoured to take on this role as the lead international advocate for Australia's commitment to gender equality and the human rights of women and girls and persons of diverse gender identities.
You guys ever hear about the lost library of Nineveh?
No, I have not.
So Ashurbanipal was the last great king of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, ruling from Nineveh from 668 to 627 BC. This dude was obsessed with understanding everything, and so he founded this library in Nineveh, which wasn't discovered until the mid-19th century by a British archaeologist, Austin Henry Layard, and he found over 30,000 tablets.
Jeez.
That's where we found the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Oh my gosh.
But what's fascinating is that the stuff that they did find rewrote a lot of Middle Eastern history, because they talked about old war campaigns, kings that no one has ever heard of.
Wow.
But then there's thousands of these tablets talking about advanced astrology. They said in today's standards is still very advanced.
That's amazing.
And what's creepy, Ashurbanipal claimed to possess access to knowledge from before the flood, suggesting he may have been aware of ancient, perhaps lost or suppressed knowledge. And this is a quote from, "I have studied inscriptions from before the flood. I can solve intricate divisions, multiplications, mathematics, and writing." And then he said, "I have read the secret tablets of the gods."
The Watchers?
I mean,
golly, dude.
So that got me thinking, I'm like, he said he was a divine king, and that the Assyrian gods are the true mighty gods. No other god can stand against the Assyrian gods. But then you think, like, okay, well, God, was he also like, I don't want you people to read these?
Good to go. Well, you're a miracle boy. Is there anything else I can do for you? Do you sing? No, I don't. I'm not a good singer. I see. Well, we can start now. What would you like to hear? How about some Frank Sinatra? You are my sunshine. Okay. No, I'm a bad singer. Okay, but I'll try it for you. All right. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Well, you can sing. Well, not very well.
Oh.
Well, if there's nothing else I can do for you, I better get back out on the road.
I think you should. Thank you.
Good to go.
Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.